Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Thank you guys so much for stopping by our channel. I hope you guys enjoyed today's tutorial. We are going to be doing a Christmas wreath. Can you believe it? I know we have Halloween behind us and we're already working on Christmas, but as a designer we have to be, ahead of the season. So today we're going to be making this beautiful Nutcracker wreath. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. It is an overtop design. You can scale it down. You don't have to use as many elements. You could use a smaller nutcracker, a smaller wreath base, whatever you want to do. This is just kind of for some inspiration. So I hope you guys enjoy it. If this is your first time, don't forget to subscribe, hit the little notification bell. I'm so glad that you joined us. We've got lots of tutorials out there. So let's go ahead and get started. Hi guys, Melissa here at TCT Crafts. Today we are going to be doing a Christmas design. And no, just ignore all the Halloween behind us because it's time to move on to Christmas. So today we are going to be doing a design using this adorable foam nutcracker. And we're going to be using this 24-inch artificial pine wreath base. So these are my favorite bases to use. I use them all year round, and what I love about Christmas and winter designs is we don't have to worry about covering up all this pine. So I've already started putting some of the mesh in just so you didn't have to watch me do the whole thing. And you can see I left lots of pine in between because that's just, it's Christmas time, so we can leave that in there. So I'm spacing them out quite a bit. That'll cut down on how much mesh we use as well. So let me see if I can zoom you in just a little bit. And we'll go ahead and get started. Okay, so in case this is your first time to watch, I wanted to show you how I cut and put my mesh in. So this is just 10-inch mesh. I just drop it to the floor. I kind of hold it up and around my belly button area. Just cut. I do not measure. When I use these type of wreath bases, I do not measure. A couple weeks ago, I did a video on using like one of the pre-made wreath base that has the wire ties. Now, when I use those, I do like to measure. So you can go check out that video. It's a fall wreath. I think it was the Hey Y'all fall design. And you can see how I measure for those type of wreaths. So I'm just skipping several pines, finding a spot, and just twisting it. Now how I roll it is I hold it up to my chest, and I will roll the ends in and just kind of scrunch it together. I'm just finding 2 of the pine ties, pushing that all the way down to the wire frame. Okay, now let's do a couple on the inside. We're not going to need a whole lot in here because we have our nutcracker going there in the center. We'll give it a couple curls. And something else I did to this, so this was originally a round, just a round wreath. I just took and just kind of pushed on it like this to make it more oval. Because he's tall, our nutcracker is tall, I wanted to extend my wreath base. So that's all I did, was just kind of push on it a little bit. I'm finding a couple of the inside ties. Let's do like one more. Okay, so we've got our got our base done. Lots of pine still showing. So we didn't even use, well, not even a whole roll, almost a whole roll of mesh. Okay, so before we get our Nutcracker in, I want to add this white pine spray. So I'm just going to kind of maneuver these branches. It's going to sit kind of back here behind our Nutcracker. And so I'm trying to pull in some of the colors from him. So obviously we have the white. We're going to add some green elements. I brought in a little bit of gold, and we've got the black and the red. So we're just pulling in all those colors. So that's why I wanted to add some of this white in here. Okay, I don't need the stem this long, but I do want it down here where I can tie it right into this wire that's right there. So I'm going to cut it down just a little bit. So I left it long. There's a wire right here. I'm going to take 2 of these ties and just tie that in. Take 2 more ties right here, tie it. We'll add some glue in a second too. And then up here, we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to take a couple of these pine ties and just twist right around that stem. So it's not going to go anywhere. Now we'll add some glue. Just adding some glue all right where I tied those in. Okay, we're going to take another one. We're going to go down. I want to add a little bit of length on this. I'm going to take 2 of the ties right where I just tied in that one. Let's find 2 down here. Just going to wrap one right around there like that. Okay, let's get some glue on there. Perfect. Okay, so we've got a little white base now for our Nutcracker to sit on. I've got one more because I'm going to cut up some of these pieces and kind of put around the side just to bring in a little bit of the white around the side so it's not just all right here in the center. But let's get Mr. Nutcracker placed. Now this guy was not cheap, so this is going to be a more expensive design, which a lot of my designs are. I just like to go kind of over the top with them. So I want to raise him. I want him sitting. I might have to zoom you guys out a little bit more now that we're done with the mesh, just so you guys can see a little better. Okay. So I want to kind of have him not flat in the center. I'm going to raise him up like that. Okay. And we've got this speak today. We have the little stems from these white ones down here that we can tie the hem to. We are also going to glue him and tie him around his arms so he will not go anywhere. Okay, so I brought some black zip ties so that we can go right around his, I'm actually going to go right around this little rod here. I was going to go around the boot, but I think this will be better. Before we zip tie the rest of him, I'm going to add some glue here in a second, but I'm just going to zip tie this. I don't want that to happen, so let's try something else, because that was starting to pull it sideways. So let me get some glue on him. Let's glue him first, and then I'll worry about zip tying him. And he's pretty light, and he is foam. So I'm just going to add some glue. Okay. So what I may do instead of is go right up under his little arm here. I'm going to go right up in, like in his armpit with the zip tie. Tight, but not too tight. And let's do the other side, and that'll kind of pull him this way. Come on. Going to raise his little hair up, and we'll hide that zip tie right underneath his little hair. Perfect. Okay. Now, let's see. There's a spot. Use a black pipe or pipe cleaner because I don't have any more black zip ties with me. I'm going to try to. There's a spot right in between his boots. So I'm just going to weave this pipe cleaner. And I'm just going to tie it to this pine branch. Since that's black, you won't really see it by the time we get done adding everything else in here. Perfect. Okay. So we have Mr. Nutcracker. Let's see if he looks a little crooked. Okay, I think he's better. I'm going to add a little glue to the bottom down here. And over here on the side. Tuck that pipe cleaner in a little bit. add some blue around his tiny. There we go. Okay, now let's take our last pine spray here, and I'm just going to cut it into pieces so that we can kind of tuck some of this white in around the sides. This one's being a doozy. There we go. So we'll get a few pieces out of it. Okay. So I'm just going to take and kind of place some of these. I'm just going to dip it in my glue pot and stick it right in there. Make sure that touches those pine. I'm going to alternate to the different the different texture pieces. And I'm pretty generous with my glue. I'm just kind of spacing these out because we don't have, we don't have a lot of these. We're just adding a little bit of that white around the sides. Okay, let's go in with this piece. Do have some of these white sprays in the shop. We just got them in, so Christmas stuff is starting to finally come in. Still got some more stuff on the way, but okay, let's get right up at the top behind him. I'm gonna add a piece. Kind of pull out some of these branches a little bit. Don't pull too hard because I just pull one off. Okay, we've got just a couple more pieces. Put one right here. Let me see. Maybe right in this area. I'll put one more. Okay, so now we added some white all the way around the outside to kind of tie that in. Now let's add, get a drink real quick. Let's add our, I'm going to kind of do a bow right here at the bottom, kind of to the side. Let's add our jewels next. So I brought in our pretty jewels that we get in every year. These are some I had left from last year. We should be getting them in the next probably 2 weeks. We'll have them in a few different colors. So I want to put one kind of right here. Trying to see, you guys can see, sort of right in here. We're going to add that one. And if you saw, I pulled this out of the trash. So this is that little piece that I just broke off, because I'm going to slide it through this little hole that it has here on the jewel, and then use it to tie to this other pipe cleaner. And then we'll add some glue to this as well, but that'll help say that, and I didn't even tie it in. I just tied it to itself. I'm going to tie it to one of these other pine ties. I may have to put two together. Make it a little bit longer. Make sure I get it tied really good. Okay. And these have a pretty side and a dull side, so we want to make sure our pretty side is up. I'm going to go ahead and add some glue to the back. Now this is like, I wouldn't just, I mean, I have just put glue on them, but I think a little bit of extra reinforcement is probably better. I haven't had any fall off with just the glue, but we'll just go ahead and add, I'm going to add some glue kind of all around. Now I'm going to take our little ties here, go through that little hole, and this time make sure I'm actually grabbing some pine. There we go. I can actually grab that ring. Since I put two together, and actually tie it to that ring. Maybe. Maybe not. Okay, well, I'm just going to wrap it around these other ties. Just twisting them together. There we go. Now I'll add some glue to those. Make sure they're not going to come out. Perfect. Okay, so we have our first jewel in there. Now let's add our second one. I'm going to add two of these, making sure I get my pretty side up. Thinking this one's going to kind of sit right here. And then we'll have our bow like down kind of at the bottom. So let me go ahead and get some glue on this. Get it tucked in there nicely. Then we'll worry about tying it. Okay. Got that nice and tied in. Let's add some glue. Add some glue all the way around. Perfect. Okay, so that's what we have so far. We have our two little jewels tucked in there. Now let's make our bow. We're going to put our bow kind of down here, help hide a little bit of the bottom. So So let's set this to the side so I can get my bow maker out. If this is your first time watching, I am not very good at hand bows. As much as I try to practice, it's just easier for me to use the bow maker. So I'm using our Deluxe Easy Bow Maker. Probably one of my favorite crafting tools. And we're going to use this Farrisilk 4-inch. It is double-sided. It has the black and white check, which matches our Nutcracker. So let's see. Just gonna pinch it and push it right down in the middle. And then let's do about a 7-inch loop. Maybe 7.5. Let's do 7.5-inch loop. Pinch and twist. And 7.5 on this side. And just scrunch it down. I'm going to cut it just a hair longer so when I can flip it up so we can see that different pattern of check there. Okay, now I'm going to go in with, I don't think we have any more of this in stock. This was from last year, just this red, really pretty red velvet. You can use any red 2.5-inch that you like. Let's see how much I have. So let's go about 6.5. The perfect amount. I'll have it just enough to maybe add a little bit of this at the top. So we have just a little bit left we can still use. Now I'm going to pull in a little bit of the black and white some more with just this black and white 1.5 Farrisilk. I love these 1.5s. I've got them in several different colors. I love how they hold their shape. So let's see, I didn't even measure. That's probably about 5 inches, 5.5. So I'm using all designer ribbon on this one, but you definitely can just use your more expensive designer on your 4-inch. And then use less expensive options on your 2.5 and your 1-inch. You do not have to use all designer. This one's kind of an over-the-top design, so I went ahead and just pulling out all the stops on this one, and we're using all of this gorgeous ribbon. Okay, I'm just gonna take my zip tie. maneuver my loops. And then I need a pipe cleaner. I'm just going to weave a pipe cleaner through the back so that I can tie it in. Get my tails like I want them. Okay. Let's get this guy back over here. And I want this bow kind of right here. So I'm going to find that inner ring. And then tie it around that inner ring. Just making sure I've got the ring part. I'm just going to tie it around the back. Alright, just going to clip off my little excess pipe cleaner. And then we'll kind of fluff our loops. And I'm going to take and just kind of roll this black and white up so it gives it a little curl. Guys, I am so stopped up today, so I apologize if you hear all the sniffling. I'm always stopped up. It's like I have bad sinuses, but today is just terrible. Okay, I'm just going to go straight across with this red. Roll it up. So we have our beautiful bow down there now. We may trim the tails up later, but I want to finish adding all of our picks and sprays before I worry about cutting the tail. Okay, so we've got our pretty bow there. I think it needs some ribbon up in this area, sort of diagonal. It's just kind of how I work. So let's add like a half bow, so just one loop. I like to do that a lot of my designs, just to have, we'll have this tail hang down a little bit. This one will be shorter. So let me find tie. Get a little curl there. You guys probably can't see what I'm doing. So I just kind of curl that tail in and kind of roll that up right there. Let's add a little bit of this red. So again, I'm just making one loop. Like this is going to be it for that one. Got a little sticky. See if I can pull it off. Yeah, a little piece of the tape. Okay, so I'm just going to a little loop. Got our shorter tail. I'm just putting these in that pine ties, and twisting it. We'll add some glue in a second. Just roll the ends up on that red. Little loop of our black and white. I'm going to just add a baby loop. Just a baby loop. Now, if you're good at doing hand bows, you can do all that in your hand and then just put it all in one, but I'm not, so I did it in little sections. Rolling this up. All right. So now we have our little half bow up here. We have our full bow down there. And let's just stop right there. If we want to add more ribbon, I don't have any more of the red, but I'm thinking maybe a little bit more of this would look nice in here. Just a little tail. Okay, so yeah, we'll add a little tail there, and let's do one on this side, and then we'll be done with the ribbon. Just because this is pricier ribbon. And I'm already going overboard with this design, so. And I'm not measuring, I just tuck them in there. And I see how long I want my tails. Don't worry about, they're never the same, exactly the same size. Okay, so we'll go back and add some glue. Let me show you what we got so far. Okay, that's it for the ribbon. So I'm just going to set that aside. Let's add a little bit of glue where we tied those ribbons in. Perfect. Okie dokie. So super pretty. You wanted to stop here, you definitely could. But I'm going to add some more items. So I brought in this gold ornament star. I think we're going to add it. Down here, and it does have a little hook because it's an ornament, so I'm just going to run this, I'm going to run just a little piece of that pine right in that little hook, and that'll help hold it in, and then we'll add glue. I'm going to add some glue right around there. Trying to get all the spots where it's touching something. Perfect. Okay. Now let's go add one up on the other corner. So diagonal. You can use any type of gold ornaments that you would like. If you have gold ornament balls, you can use a ball instead of star. Whatever you prefer. Okay, trying to find where I can hook this hook at. I think if I do it this way, I can hook it right here. Maybe, maybe not. Here's one. So I'm just trying to get it in here where I can weave that pine through that little ornament hook. There we go. Perfect. Okay. So let me glue that. And we'll glue a little star in. Add glue to the back. Okay, that should not go anywhere once it gets done drying. Grab a drink. Okay, and I brought in just a couple little gold ornament balls. I'm going to take the little topper off. And I'm going to use it to kind of put right in the center of our little bow. Let's do one of that on the other side. Okay, so I just tucked it right there. It's like a little button in our bow on both sides. And then I've got a couple more. We may just tuck them in there at the end. We need a little spot, but they're just tucked in right there, little button. Okay, now let's add in some of our greenery sprays. So I brought, these are some sprays that I got after Christmas last year from Michael's. They were on clearance. Originally they had these little oranges attached to them, which I don't want the oranges in this design. So I just pulled them out. So we're just going to use these little picks to kind of add a little bit more, texture into our design. So I do not want my stem this long. I don't want it poking all the way out the back side of our wreath. So I'm just going to cut it down. Dip it in my glue. And we're just going to go around. I'm just going to find some spots. We're just going to kind of go all the way around and just tuck these little pine branches in there. It's going to give it a little bit of extra fullness and texture to our design. let's see how many I have. I think I have 2, 3, 4, 6 more. So let me space them out so that we make sure that we have enough, and then we can come back. So let's add one up here towards the top. One right behind his head. I have another Cypress spray that we can use to fill in kind of the, oh, I just made a mess with that. It's gonna go right behind his head. Get some of this glue off. There we go. Get it off my fingers. Okay. We'll add one on that side. We'll use our other Cypress spray to fill in our other spots, since I only have a few of these. And I just dropped the berry on that one. So we'll just add some glue to it and add it back in there. There we go. Get one right in here. Okay, I've got 2 left. Let's put these down towards the bottom. We'll leave this stem just a tad longer since we've got that long bow. And bring some length down here. Do this one on the other side, and then we'll go in and fill in with our other one. Perfect. Okay. I say that a lot. Probably gets on your nerves. Sorry about that. Okay. I'll have to come up with some different words. So let's go in with, I've got just some regular green Cypress sprays. We do have these in the shop. And I'm going to pull them into 2 pieces. You can get 2 pieces out of these. And let's start kind of going in between where we added the other ones. I'm just going to go in between where we add the others and kind of fill in the missing spots. So right in here. Making sure I get really good up in that. Just gonna pull these apart. These pull apart pretty easy. Of course, I say that and watch. Okay. And adding these around the sides sometimes is easier if you have it hanging up. Just so you can kind of visually see it a little better. But I like to get like the framework down and then save a few pieces. And then when I hang it up, if I see any sort of gaps, I can add a few pieces at the end. So that's kind of what I'm going to do. I'm going to get it, you know, 98% done with you guys. And then when I hang it up, if I see any little holes, then I can add a few more pieces. So you can see I'm just kind of going in between, adding this greenery. And I had brought in some red glitter sprays. I brought in some of this, but I'm kind of liking how without that sparkle, like just more of a, I don't even have the right word, but just the green without the glitter. It does have a little bit of glitter on his little staff here, and we added a little bit in the little balls, but I'm thinking we may not add those red glitter sprays. I'm going to do another Nutcracker design, so I'm thinking maybe on that one I can add the red sprays and then bring in more of the frosted. So we have a little bit of the frosted to bring out his white, but then the rest of these are not frosted, so that's kind of what I was talking about. So maybe the next design I can bring in more frosted elements and add the red glitter sprays. I think this one I'm just going to keep. Neutral's not the right word that I'm looking for, but I think you guys know what I'm talking about. More of the pine. Okay. So since we're not going to add that, we're almost done. We'll add some berries, maybe some more berries, and then we'll call it a day on this design. So I want to make sure I'm getting they're good. And I'll clean up the back because I have I see one stem that kind of went through, so I'll clean the back up after we get done. Make sure we don't have any stems poking through the back. Cut this down shorter. I've got 2 more, so we'll have 4 more pieces. I hope you guys liked last week's tutorial, our sort of spooky glam pumpkin arrangement. I love that one. It's probably one of the more favorite ones I've done in a while. More favorite, is that the right? Cannot speak today, guys. You know what I mean? I like that. I really want to keep it. But my husband says I gotta quit keeping my design. But I got to sell them because the house, as he says, is getting overrun with all my stuff. Don't like the way that one's going in there. That's better. Okay, I don't want to pull that one back out, so I'm just going to hit it with my glue gun. Kind of got it in there like I like it. Okay, we're on our last one. Trying to find a good spot for this one. It's being a little pain. There's that mesh that's kind of in the way that's not letting me push it up in there a bit. So I may just take this. There's a pine branch. I'm going to twist it around that stem, and then we'll add some glue. Since I can't quite get it up in there like I want to, we'll just twist it in there. More piece. I'm going to add a little length, so I'm going to leave that one. Okay. This is what we have so far. You guys are not even seeing it right. I'll take a picture and you'll get a better view of it. Okay, so let's add in a few little berries, and I think, so I'll just have a few little berry sprays, and then I think we will call it a day. It's turned out super pretty. So I'm just going to pull some of these little berries off, so they're not such huge clusters. And we'll just kind of tuck them here and there. Okay, so I'm just going to kind of find some spots and just tuck them in there. And then I'll take pictures and hang it up so you can see what it looks like. And then if I see any little naked spots, I'll fix it. Just going to tuck some kind of right around the bottom of that. The bottom of that, these little feet here. And then we'll just kind of go all the way around and tuck a little few pieces of berries in, and that will be it. So besides the Christmas in July design, this is my first Christmas wreath of the season. Which I always get so excited to start Christmas. And then, because we have to start so early, you know, by the time it actually gets truly like the Christmas season, I'm so tired of doing Christmas designs that I'm ready to do something else. But it's always fun starting them, for sure. I love to do the Christmas winter designs, like I said at the beginning, just because you can leave all of that pine. You don't have to worry about covering it up. It's just really pretty. finding little spots, no rhyme or reason. Just adding some little berries. And I'll list if you guys are new to watching, I always try to tag and list the supplies that we use in the description. So that if there's anything that you don't have and you want to use or get, you guys will know what it is, or at least have an idea of something similar to get. So that will be in the description. And I have not been to Hobby Lobby yet since they've rolled out their Christmas at 40% off. Can you believe I have not been to Hobby Lobby? I'm really trying to use stuff that I still had from last year and not go crazy buying a whole bunch of new stuff. I know that probably won't last, but for now, I'm trying to stay out of there, just so I can use up some of the stuff, and then I'll eventually get in there and load up. I may add a couple more of these little ornaments too. See if I can get one of these like that. We don't want to forget about the center here either. May wait till I hang it up before I add that one so I can see what it looks like. Let's add one right in there. We got one more, so let's use them. Let's find a spot. Well, I mean, I have more, but that's what we have cut up. Okay. Let's add a couple more of these just so I can get rid of them. That'll bring in a little bit more of the gold. Let me just find a couple little, maybe right here, where we have our little tail, where we tag our little tail in. Can add one on this side. Well, this one we kind of have hidden with the star, but maybe right here, could tuck a little. Yeah, we'll tuck that in there. Okay. Let's see. Do one on this side, right up here by our little jewel. One more. Maybe somewhere up top, like right there. That looks good. Just said it again. Okay. So I hope you guys enjoyed. I may add a little bit of, glue to this back of this ribbon, just to kind of hold it where we want it. And I'll do the same on the other side, but let me hold it for a second. I'm just holding it against that ornament. I'm going to add a little bit of glue to the back side here. Just to kind of hold it where we want it. I love it, it's so pretty. I think I'm glad I didn't add the red glitter sprays. You guys let me know in the comment if you think I should have added these or just leave it like it is. I'm gonna leave it like it is, but I always like to know everybody else's feedback and comments. So this is what we have. You'll get a better picture when I hang it up, but I hope you guys enjoyed. Until next time, bye guys.